Hello folks, so today we're going to talk about how Tilta must have solved the overheating problem in the Canon R5 and the Canon R6. Welcome on my channel where I do reviews, tip and tricks, tutorials, and talk about creative stuff, if you like talking about creative stuff. So, this morning I woke up and I saw actually that Tilta has posted this on Instagram. I received actually an email already because I'm on the newsletter of Tilta because it's one of my favorite companies out there, and I received an email from them and some days ago where they were announcing the cooling system for the Canon R6 and R5. The reason why I knew already about it because last year they announced it. They said that they were going to create something for the overheating problems, and there were kind of a prototype around pictures and stuff like that. And finally, they have released it, and yeah, it looks fine. It looks good. I wasn't expecting that it will have actually looked like this because it looked actually like the prototype. The prototype I think was a little bit bigger, and they managed to slim it a little bit down. So it looks fine. It looks fine. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the pros and then the cons, because there is some cons that it made me think a little bit. And if you stick here with me, at the end, you will know if I'm actually gonna get it or not. And subscribe, consider subscribing, because if you subscribe, it will help me out getting, this kind of things more easier, so that I can get to test them and try them and let you know before you actually buy it how it actually works and if it's worth it buying it. So consider subscribing, liking, and share with your friends. So let's go into it. So one of the first things that we see on the first picture on Instagram, it's what they write is it has a high cooling efficient, optimized cooling path, and wide range of coverage. So it looks pretty interesting. Here we have the layers of how it built. So if you hear some noises, I'm on my balcony because it's fresh. So it's raining now. So if you hear some noises in the background, it's because of the rain. But let's go back here. So it has layers. So the first two layers coming from the downside is the heat conduction silicon and conduction cooling board. So it looks like this heat conduction silicon will actually absorb the heat, and then the fan will kind of bring the heat outside from the camera. So it's pretty interesting, the system that they used here. It's a really cool dissipation device. It's gonna be really, as they say, low noise at 30 dB, 500,000 run speed per minute. Okay. And here is the most interesting part, because they write achieve unlimited 4K recording and one-time extended for 8K recording under the cooling mode. This is interesting. So that means that you can record 8K. The door just made a weird noise. That was scary. But yeah, let's go back to this. You can record 8K for one time, extending the time. This is interesting because you can't anyway record 8K more than, I think, 20 minutes. So I think maybe you can record down to the 30 record limit, maybe. That's interesting. But the part that interests me the most is the 4K recording. Like, you can record 4K unlimited, according to them, where the camera will not overheat. Well, I think nobody has received it yet, so we actually don't know if it actually true, if it actually works. And that's interesting. If it works, that could make me buy it. Oh, let's see. So here in the picture, they show basically how it's kind of gonna look like. And yeah, of course, you cannot close the screen when it's on the back, so it makes sense. And then here, they show basically how the camera will come down, like how you will close basically your screen. So they have done a system where you can basically just make it so that the fan will come 90 degrees down, and then you can close basically the screen. I don't know if when you close the screen, the fan will kind of stay at 90 degrees, or you will actually manage to bring the fan up. That actually a little bit confusing because they didn't explain, they didn't have any picture. But from how we see design here, it looks like the fan will have to say 90 degrees, so you have to kind of take it off. And yeah, and there isn't kind of any quick release plate. So yeah, it's interesting, and well, we will see. And well, it can be charged on an external battery, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And what is the cons now? So the pros is, of course, you can get the 4K and unlimited, if it's actually true. So an 8K for who has the 8K. What is most interesting for me is for who has the R5, if the 4K HQ will actually be unlimited too, since it's a downsampling from 8K or upscaling to 8K, however you wanna put it. So we will see when it will be out, and I believe it's gonna cost $165. So it looks pretty interesting and on the expensive side. But yeah, so the cons. So what are the cons for me personally? For me personally, I use the R6 with a grip, and it doesn't look like they have done a system for who has the grip, because we have only like a cage, like a half cage, and a little mount under. I don't know if it's an arc Swiss, but you have like this little mount under, and then you have like a cage mount, a half cage mount. So Tilta, please create a full cage for Canon R6, please. The only company who has done it is Cordon Bleu, and they don't have it in a black. So I'm still contemplating if buying it or not, because I would like to have a little block for the micro HDMI that keeps broken. So I would like to have kind of a way to save that, to save my HDMI. I don't want to invest anymore on them. It's annoying. So please, Tilta, please, if someone of you knows that Tilta has it already, please send me a link. But thank you guys for sticking here with me. This is a little bit on a long side, but thank you very much if you made it at this point. Personally, at the moment, I don't think I'm gonna buy it because of the cage issues, and I don't want to screw my battery every time. So no, at the moment, no. Plus, I want to see some reviews first. So thank you guys for sticking here with me.